Welcome to Light Realm History, where we journey through the paths of greatness from times past. We honor the sacrifices of remarkable men who illuminated the world with their courage and vision. Subscribe to join us, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to share your thoughts on what you've learned. Now, let's begin our adventure. Augustine of Hippo, the restless heart of history, 354 to 431. Introduction, the legacy of a saint. In the vast tapestry of history, few figures loom as large or as complex as Augustine of Hippo, a man whose restless soul wrestled with faith, doubt, desire, and redemption. Augustine's journey is not merely a tale of saint, but a profound human story. His writings laid the foundation for much of Western Christianity. His ideas shaped theology for centuries, and his life remains a beacon for those seeking meaning amid chaos. But to truly understand Augustine, we must step back into the world that forged him, a world of crumbling empires, fierce debates, and personal turmoil. This is a story of a man who dared confront his own darkness and emerged transformed, leaving footprints that echo through time. Chapter 1, Roots of Conflict. Visuals. The sun blazes over the rugged hills of North Africa. A modest Roman villa stands amid olive groves and dusty roads. Augustine's story begins in 354 AD in Thagist, a small town nestled in the rolling hills of Numidia, part of the sprawling Roman Empire. The air is thick with the scent of earth and olive trees, the sounds of merchants calling, children laughing, and distant bells tolling from a nearby church. Here, in a modest home, Augustine was born into a family torn by contrasts. His father, Patrick, was a man of fierce passions and contradictions, a landowner of modest means. Patrick was known for his quick temper and restless spirit. Though he provided for his family, his frequent absences and infidelities cast shadows over Augustine's childhood. The elder Patrick's world was one of practical concerns: land, status, survival in a changing empire. In stark contrast stood Monica, Augustine's mother, a woman whose life would become a testament to faith and perseverance. Once given to drink, Monica's transformation was sparked by a harsh rebuke from a servant, a moment that shattered her old ways and ignited a fierce devotion to Christianity. Her faith was not quiet or passive. It was a burning fire, a constant prayer for the salvation of her family, especially her son. Imagine young Augustine watching his parents, his father's fiery temper clashing with his mother's serene faith. These early years planted the seeds of conflict within him, a tension between worldly desire and spiritual longing that would shape his entire life. Chapter 2, The Young Scholar. Patrick, recognizing his son's sharp intellect, was determined to give Augustine an education. He scraped together what little he had to send him to school, hoping the boy's mind might open doors Patrick himself never could. But school was no sanctuary for Augustine. The teachers were harsh and unforgiving, their voices sharp and their discipline severe. Latin grammar and rhetoric filled the days, Greek the nights. Augustine's mind was restless, his heart often wandering to the girls at church rather than the lessons in front of him. His mother, Monica, tried to guide him toward the faith she cherished. She enrolled him as a catechumen, a student preparing for baptism. But Augustine's youthful rebellion was fierce. He was drawn more to the pleasures of the world than the promises of heaven. The tension between his mother's prayers and his own desires created a silent storm within him. Picture Augustine, alone in his room, torn between the strict expectations of his family and the wild temptations of youth. His restless spirit was already searching for something beyond the dusty scrolls and strict teachers, a search that would lead him far from home. If you've listened this far, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and share your honest thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's continue our adventurous journey together. Chapter 3, Carthage, City of Desire. At 17, Augustine left the familiar hills of Thagus for Carthage, the jewel of Roman Africa. Carthage was a city alive with energy and contradiction, a place where ancient Roman grandeur met the raw pulse of urban life. The markets overflowed with spices and silk. Philosophers argued in the forums, and the scent of roasted meats mingled with the salty sea breeze. In Carthage, Augustine's ambitions blossomed. He enrolled in the rhetoric school, determined to master the art of persuasion. He devoured the works of Cicero and Plato, their words igniting a fierce hunger for knowledge and power. Yet, the city's temptations were many. Augustine fell deeply in love with a servant girl. Their relationship, lasting 13 years, was marked by passion, but also by the pain of societal disapproval. They lived together outside the bounds of marriage, a scandal in the eyes of the church, but a reality of the time. Their son, Audiobook, meaning gift from God, was born into this complicated union, a beacon of love amidst Augustine's inner turmoil. Yet, beneath this life of pleasure and ambition, Augustine's soul was restless. He sought answers in the teachings of the Manichees, a sect that promised to explain the cosmic struggle between light and darkness. For a decade, he followed their doctrines, hoping to find peace. But peace remained elusive. His famous prayer, "Give me chastity and continence, but not yet," reveals the depth of his inner conflict. He was caught between the desires of the flesh and the call of the spirit, a battle that would define his life. Chapter 4, Restless in Rome and Milan. In 383, Augustine's journey took him across the Mediterranean to Italy. Rome, the eternal city, was a place of grandeur and decay, a city where power and corruption walked hand in hand. Augustine sought a position as a professor of rhetoric, dreaming of fame and influence, but Rome disappointed him. The city's political intrigues and moral decay left him disillusioned. He moved to Milan, where the air was cooler and the political scene less chaotic. Here, Augustine's ambitions shifted. He ended his long relationship with a servant girl and became engaged to a wealthy heiress, a match that promised social advancement. Yet, despite these outward successes, Augustine's heart remained unsettled. One day, he saw a beggar laughing joyfully in the street, a simple man who seemed to possess a happiness Augustine could not understand. This moment pierced Augustine's soul. "That poor wretch is happy and has what I cannot attain to," he reflected. His search for meaning deepened. Philosophy offered questions but no answers. The emptiness inside him grew louder. Chapter 5, The Turning Point. Monica, ever faithful, followed her son to Milan, her prayers a constant presence in his life. At the urging of a friend, Augustine began attending the sermons of Ambrose, the city's bishop. Ambrose's eloquence and gentle wisdom began to chip away at Augustine's doubts. In the quiet of a garden, Augustine's internal struggle reached a breaking point. Overwhelmed by the weight of his past sins and the emptiness of his present, he wept openly. Suddenly, a child's voice echoed in his mind. "Take and read." He opened the scriptures and his eyes fell upon a passage calling him to abandon his old ways and embrace Christ fully. In that moment, Augustine's heart surrendered. The restless searching ceased, replaced by a profound peace. He was baptized the following Easter, alongside his beloved son Audiobook. Chapter 6, Return to Africa, the Making of a Bishop. Returning to North Africa, Augustine embraced a new life. He devoted himself to study, prayer, and community. His mother, Monica, lived just long enough to witness her son's transformation, a moment of triumph for her lifelong prayers. Ordained a priest, Augustine's reputation grew. In 395, he was appointed Bishop of Hippo, a city on the Mediterranean coast. Here, his restless spirit found a new purpose, guiding his flock, defending the faith, and shaping the church's future. Chapter 7, The Defender of Faith. For 35 years, Augustine stood as a pillar of the church. His sermons filled the cathedral. His writings traveled far beyond Hippo. He battled heresies that threatened to divide the Christian community, using both intellect and passion. His Confessions, a deeply personal spiritual autobiography, revealed the struggles of his soul, his sins, doubts, and ultimate redemption. The City of God, written in response to Rome's fall, offer hope that while earthly kingdoms crumble, the divine city endures eternally. Chapter 8, Battles of the Soul, Pelagius and the Donatists. Augustine's theology was forged in conflict. He opposed Pelagius, who argued that humans could achieve righteousness without divine grace. Augustine, drawing on his own experience of weakness and struggle, insisted that only God's grace could save the soul. He also confronted the Donatists, a schismatic group insisting on a pure church made up only of the faultless. Augustine argued for mercy and unity, believing the church must include both saints and sinners until the final judgment. Chapter 9, Legacy, The Restless Heart at Peace. In his final years, Augustine faced the siege of Hippo by the Vandals. Despite the turmoil, he remained steadfast, writing, teaching, and praying until his last breath in 430 AD. His legacy is immense. His teachings shaped Catholic and Protestant thought alike, influencing centuries of theology and philosophy. Augustine's journey, from a rebellious youth to a saintly bishop, reminds us all that transformation is possible. His restless heart found peace and faith, a peace that continues to inspire seekers around the world. Conclusion: the enduring influence. Augustine's life is a testament to the power of faith, the struggle for meaning, and the hope of redemption. His story invites us to confront our own doubts and desires, encouraging us to seek truth with courage and humility.
To enjoy more inspiring stories and deep insights, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, what you learnt, enjoyed, or what history you'd love us to create contents on. Thank you. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating contents you love.